Hi everyone, it's Kira Foy here again, registered nutritionist, and today we're going to talk to you about something that some of you may have some built-up fears around, and that's carbohydrates. I love carbohydrates, and I want to teach you how to love them too. You do not have to be scared of them. I know how hard it is. There's so much conflicting information when it comes to nutrition. It's really hard to break it down and figure out what's good for you. At the end of the day, I always go for what's easy and what you can actually do, as opposed to what's perfect or what is going to be what's going to help you lose weight the fastest. Because at the end of the day, losing weight fast is not necessarily going to be the same thing that's going to help you maintain it forever. So, about carbohydrates. There's so many amazing types of carbohydrates, and they make us feel good, and they make us feel satisfied, and they make us feel happy, and that's really important. So what I always say is when you're eating carbs, it's really important for you to balance them out. So carbohydrates are, fruits and vegetables too, as well as whole grains and starchier carbs and your potatoes and your quinoas and all of those types of things. And the important thing is, if you're having a carbohydrate, especially one that's a little bit more starchy or that has a little bit more sugar in it, so a banana perhaps. A lot of people are afraid of bananas. They're a fabulous powerhouse of nutrition. They have tons of potassium, they make you feel good, and they are amazing in a smoothie because they make it nice and sweet and palatable. So what I always say is, balance that out. Just like I just mentioned, a fantastic way to have bananas is in a smoothie, because in a smoothie you're adding in some great protein, you're adding in some good fat, you add your bananas in there, maybe you add some more berries and a whole bunch of leafy greens, and you have yourself an amazing breakfast. And it doesn't matter that that's a high glycemic carbohydrate, that banana, because you've changed how that carbohydrate's going to be, how it's going to affect your bloodstream, because fat and protein slow down the absorption of that sugar into your bloodstream. And that is the key. So long as we always balance out what we're eating, you are going to be able to continue to eat carbs and not worry about blood sugar fluctuations and secreting too much insulin and having that be stored as fat, because that's definitely what we don't want. So, for example, if I am having a snack in the afternoon, an apple is a really, easy thing to take with me. I can have it in my bag, and what I do is I pair that with some almonds, just some regular, organic is preferable, but just raw almonds. And a small apple does have simple sugars, and if you're not having it with something like an almond that has some fat and a little bit of protein, then those sugars are going to cause an increase in your blood sugar and can cause your body to secrete insulin, which means it's going to take all of the sugar that's in your bloodstream and push it into your cells to store it for later, and we don't want that. So the almonds slow down that absorption of carbohydrates, sugar into your bloodstream, and they give you the added benefit of helping keep you full longer. Perfect. That's what we want from a snack. Going back to the glycemic index of carbohydrates, that is really important too. Most of the time, I do recommend for you to choose things that have a lower glycemic index, meaning they don't affect your blood sugar as much. So those would be things, for example, fruits like berries, cherries, your strawberries, blueberries, all of those things are low glycemic, as are a lot of vegetables. Your green leafy vegetables, your celery, your cucumbers, all of those things are super low. Things that are on the medium side are things like sweet potatoes. And things that are on the high side are things like your white rice and your bananas and any of your tropical fruits like papaya and pineapple and those types of things. But what I'm trying to tell you is nothing has to be out of balance. You just have to pair it with the right combination of fat and protein. So when you have, for lunchtime, for example, quinoa is a fabulous, fabulous grain, and it's gluten-free, and it has a ton of amino acids, and it's very nutrient dense. And that is really, really important. In the nutrition guide that BodyRock and the Daily Hiit has just launched for you guys, if you notice, it's all real whole foods. And that's so important because, again, it's nutrient dense. So when we're choosing carbohydrates, we want them to be nutrient dense. We want to get as much out of them as possible. So quinoa is something that I use a lot for lunchtime, especially because if you make a quinoa salad, you can have that for 3 days. You can take it to work with you, and you don't necessarily have to add any extra protein in that. Lots of vegetables and lots of, nuts and seeds and things like that, and you're gonna be perfect. Some of the other things surrounding carbohydrates are, can I eat bread? Can I have brown rice? Can I still eat those types of things? Absolutely you can. It's just about portion and combining it with the right fats and the right proteins. If you always think to yourself, hey, where's my fat and where's my protein, you're gonna be doing really well. Lots of green leafy vegetables, lots of fruit. You can have your carbohydrates and your fats and your proteins, and you'll be doing great.